Well, hello there. Welcome to lesson 2 of unit 6 of computer science discoveries. We are looking at designing screens with code. This is a good introductory lesson as far as how to set the property ID, property, and value of your code. By reading and changing the content on the screen of an app, the class starts to build apps that only need a single screen. Even with just one screen, you can begin to see that these techniques allow for lots of user interaction and functionality. Today, we're going to be doing some of this. If you follow along, go step by step, you're going to see that this is actually pretty simple. But just pay attention to what you're doing. Don't just do this willy-nilly and follow along and not listen. Do pay attention to what's going on because it will sink in a little bit better for you. Part 2. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the code. All right, and we need to read the code and predict what the app will look like when it's run. All right, so you got a title. You've always wondered what your cat is saying. Now, when it meows in the middle of the night, you can finally know. So right here, we have a background color of beige. That's our very first thing. What we're going to do is we're going to look down each line and see what fits. Okay, so we have right here, pink. Well, it can't be. It says the background color, the home screen background color is beige. That doesn't work. White doesn't work either. That one's beige and that one's beige. So we're down to 2. Okay. Title, text, cat translator. So we got title, cat translator, cat translator. Okay, and you can, it doesn't matter which one you choose. Okay, well it does. But so this one says cat translator and this one says cat translator. Next, title font size 45. Okay, well that helps, but it's not that helpful. Let's look at what's different between the other trends. Okay, so look at this. We got cat translator, got the arrows. This one says translate my cat, and this one down here says translate. So it says translate button, text, translate. Okay, we got the logo. Here's the color for the logo. We got X and Y. Here's the biggest difference. Text, translate. So on the translate button, the text says translate. Well, this one says translate my cat. This one says translate. So that's why we choose D. Let's go with D. Let's run this bad thing. Mine, for some reason, isn't showing up the whole thing, but it says translate just like we thought. So this must be the correct choice, D. All right. So we'll reset. We're going to move on. Okay, I have to click, you click continue or finish. I have to go to D because I can't see my external screen. All right, so your name here. The set property block can be used to change lots of things about your design elements, including the text they contain. So do this. Drag out a set property block. You just grab this, drag it over. Okay. For the first parameter, select name. Okay, name. Got it. Okay, that's going to be the section that you're working with. For the second parameter, select text. You could choose Y, X, height, width, background color, font family, all these things. We're going to choose text. That is the text of the name area property. And we want it to say our name. I'm Oliver, so I'm going to put that. I click run and look what it does. It says my name, Oliver. So set property, name, text, Oliver. So this is the part you want to do. So that's the name area. The text or the what about it, the property you want to change. If we change the width, it won't let us change width. And then Oliver. Okay. I've already finished this. That's why I won't change it. But this is everything right here. Which property or which part of the screen you want to change, which or section or area. Okay. The property. And then next, this is the element. So you got element, property, and value. Element, property, value. Okay. I'm not sure why this isn't moving. You can hear my dogs in the background. All right, so I got to go to 4, setting properties. All right, so on this screen, what we have to do is we have to make the red. Every design element except for the screen has an X and Y property that controls its position. Do this. Using the set property block, move the red button so that it matches the image here, right here. We want it up in the top left area. So how do we do that? Okay, with a rectangle, remember this top left corner is what dictates where the entire thing goes. So we need to go property ID, probably the red button. Okay. The width, nope, we want to change its X position. X to, well, where would put this top left corner in the right place? Right here. And if you look at it, it's 0, 0. So let's change that to 0. Okay, next part, grab another one. Red button, Y, can also be 0. Oops. Okay, run it, and look, it goes into its place. So the ID, element ID is red button. The X of it is 0. The element ID is red button. The Y or property is 0. Let me move on to number 5. Element element, property, element, property, value. Okay. So it's not really useful to set property when your first program is run. After all, you could just do all that design mode. When you use an event onEvent block with the set property, you're able to do things you couldn't in design mode. Okay. It's not really, anyway. Now you have an event block onEvent. Okay, that's when a thing happens, and it's actually pretty cool. Smiley image, you got this smiley image, and we want it to move. Okay, so what we have to do is when the smiley, remember element, property, okay, when the smiley is clicked, that's the event, we want the smiley X to turn to 100, no, 2. Not sure why this is not working right. So we grab a set property, put it in here. We want smiley x. It's going to be 100. And we want to set the property smiley y to be about 200. Okay, now we run it. See, it didn't move. Well, it's because we said when the smiley is clicked, so we got to click it and it will move. Okay, it's already there, so that's why it's not moving again. All right, so remember, element is the smiley face, property is the X and Y position in this case, and the value is you want it to go to 100 or 200. Click it, it goes. All right, let's go to number 6. All right, this time we want it to bounce around. So we're just going to take a random number, put it in each of those. Say 0 to, oh, remember, so read this. Moving on to the click first click is fine, but the smiley would be even cooler if it moved somewhere else every time we clicked it. Fortunately, we can use the random number block. Okay, instead of setting X and Y properties to a specific number, we're going to use the random number block to pick a new random and X and Y each time it's clicked. So the App Lab screen is 320 by 450. So we'll change the X, 320. Oops. And the Y is 350. There we go. Run it. It will move every time. Look at that. Excellent. So now it goes somewhere every time. Later we could put a counter. We could do whatever we wanted with that. All right, you should be clicking on continue or done or finish, whatever you have. Okay, so part 7. Design elements have a property called hidden that controls whether the element should show on screen or not. We're going to use this property to create an alarm app. Notice that when the program starts, one button is hidden and one is not. We have already set up the event handler for the trigger alarm button, which will do 2 things when it's clicked. It'll change the text property of status label to on, and it's going to set the hidden property of stop alarm button to false, meaning it should not be hidden. Do this. Run the program, see how it works. So you click run, trigger alarm, click stop alarm. Now yours works a little bit differently because I've already done this, but the key is here when you click on the trigger alarm, the stop alarm shows up and the alarm says on. You say stop alarm, the alarm says off, trigger alarm. Okay. Note the button stop alarm button is already on the screen because it is hidden. Its hidden property is marked true. It isn't shown when the program starts. Okay. So in order to do this, run the program and click alarm, trigger alarm. Okay. Add code to event handler that hides the trigger alarm. So here's what we got. We need when the trigger alarm button is clicked, the status label, the property status label, text should say on. This is the status label right here. Stop alarm button becomes hidden false. So now it's showing up. And the trigger alarm button is hidden true. So this button disappeared. Okay? That's what we wanted to have happen. I'm telling you what happens. The key is that you're learning from this. Status label is this part right here. The text says on. Alarm button hidden is false. Stop alarm button, sorry. And the trigger alarm button is true. Now we're on the same one. We've added this. It's not super useful if you can't turn the alarm off once it's been triggered. So now we need to make change the status text off, hide the stop alarm button. So click alarm. Now we can go back and forth. And how do we do that? Well, stop alarm button when it's clicked. So once the stop alarm button is clicked, the element status label text turns off. There's the off button right there. Or the off text, sorry. See, it says off right here. The stop alarm button becomes hidden true once you click it. And the set property alarm, trigger alarm button hidden becomes false. So when you click the trigger alarm, this element, the status label turns to on, the stop alarm button comes visible, you click stop alarm, this turns to off, and the trigger alarm button becomes on, or hidden false, sorry. Got an emotion machine, all right? So you'll see, here's what we're talking about here. Let's go to the design part. So the design part you have, here's each of the elements. You have this element, emotion machine. Okay, that's the title. You have a button, you have a button, you have a button. You have the image that will change. You have another area that says I'm feeling, that's an element. And there's a text area ID called feeling. This is feeling I am, ID face. So try out the app. You can try it out and see how it works. Okay. Which events are being changed with code? Which properties are being changed when you click the button? You click continue. I'm going to click on this 10 part. All right. So the first thing you need your emotion machine to do is change the appropriate image. When a button is clicked, like the happy button right here, the sad button right here, and the meh button, you'll need your emotion machine. If you look at the starting code, you'll see that we already added set property face. There's the element, there's the property, there's the value. To change to a smiley face when you click happy, do this. Create an event handler for the sad, okay, on event. When the sad button is clicked, set property of the face, that's this property right here. See how it says ID face. Icon color or image, okay? When you do this, you got to go to, you click on the arrow, you click choose, and you go to icons, and you can choose the sad face or the meh face or any of these, okay? That's the happy face here. Set the property face, icon color. I called that blue. And then the feeling right here, this is the feeling element ID, and I have it say sad. Okay, and eventually you'll make your own. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But that is what you need to do. Okay, I'm going to click on number 11. Remember, element, property, value. I go to 11. All right. Face, pick a warm color for happy, a cool one for sad. So that's why I already have the icon color is yellow, blue, and then I have a green meh, which I'll make it number 16. But and you can see I can't test this out right now. But take a look at that. Moving on to 12. Okay, you're happy and sad functional now. The only thing they need to do is change the text at the bottom of the screen. This is why I added the happy or sad in the feeling area. Feeling, text, happy. Feeling, text, sad. That's all I had to do. The feeling is the property, or the element right down here. The text is going to be happy. That's the value of the text. Okay, value is just what goes in there. And then finally, you're building your own button. Okay, so you need to click on design. What I did was I clicked on the sad button and I duplicated it and then just drug it over and clicked. Here's the ID, sad. Now you have meh. Here's the text. It's already the size you want it. Okay, you can change the color. You can put an image. Obviously, none of that stuff is necessary because you want it to look the same as the others. Okay, so once you do that, you give it some code. Meh button. When the meh button is clicked, the event will lead to the face here being the image of icon. I clicked on the meh o. I got in another set property. The face color will be green, and the set property feeling area, the text will be meh. And once you make that, you can test your own and do as you desire. Okay, that's number 13. And you completed lesson 2. Here's some other challenges you could work on and so forth. So the key here, I'll go back to it. The key is that you know that when you click on a button, that's an event. When you set a property, you have an element, and all of the elements are each of these parts of the app that you set. The property, whatever it is you want to change with that, and the value. The value is how it is being changed. So element, property, value. So that's lesson 2 of unit 6. If you have any questions, make sure and put them in the chat. And don't forget to tell me where you are. You know, I'm curious as to, I'm in Washington State. Would love to find out where some of you viewers are coming from. Take care of yourself. Remember, you're in charge of your own happiness. And take care. Again, take care. Take good care. That's what you should do, is make sure you're taking good care of yourself. Bye-bye.